Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome back for some more EVE Online. In today's video we're gonna talk a little bit more about the war deck because although not a lot has happened action-wise, in fact nothing has happened action-wise, what I've been doing mostly is exactly what you're seeing here. I have been flying around in my stealth bomber looking a little bit for the enemy, not going out of my way to go back to that headquarters and try to catch anyone there, but just seeing if I can spot any enemy activity around the system of detail, around my structures, and so far I have not found any opportunities to either note what the motivations of the enemy is or to, try and catch someone unawares if they did look for trouble here in or around the system of detail. Now you guys have been very supportive. I received lots of emails offering support but also providing me with a lot of intel. So here again we find no one. Let's do just a quick round again. And then we'll move on to some other stuff. But yeah, you guys provide me with lots of intelligence on the enemy. Some people, like located characters, warned me when there was someone in a Mar, for instance, so I could maybe try to go after them or things like that. Also, their previous experiences with this particular alliance that does tend to war deck people and go after structures. So that has me maybe a little bit worried in the sense that, well, if there's one thing that we can expect, it's apparently a big Leshak blob that might come after the structures. And solo, of course, even in this stealth bomber, I don't think I can counter anything like Leshaks because they have plenty of drones and drone power. They'll cut me to pieces before we can do anything. So while we finish this patrol, yeah, my perspective on this war is, of course, this is part of the sandbox. It gives me the chance to experience new things, to try new things, and to learn more about the game. And as I've said, I can understand that for newer players, this can be very frustrating, so I also want to provide you guys with maybe some tips and some things that you could consider doing if you're war decked yourself. And the first thing, which I hadn't done in the previous video, and it's actually a little bit of a mistake, we still find absolutely no one here, is to take a look at the enemy and see what their war history is like, specifically the active wars. And this also tells you a lot about your opponent. If it's really a grudge, someone that wants to crush your corporation, you'll be the only one that they'll be at war with. Here we have 6 active wars. I think last week there were like 15 active wars, and amongst them I noticed is CVA, a rather large Nullsec alliance, providing them with plenty of targets. So I'm still not sure that the target here is co-incorporated or my alliance. This is just, a number of war decks that are running, trying to give them targets and things to do around the Amar region, because they apparently are mostly active in and around domains. So all of this here is still pretty much clear. But as a newer player, if you find yourself in this situation, which I think is by far the most likely, then of course you can try to contact some of the other opponents. Try and contact CVA or anyone else and see if together you can't mount a defense or perhaps even go on the offensive. Try and plan an attack or an assault on the enemy headquarters, for instance. These new war mechanics are eventually, for the people that can organize as well, definitely ways to counter war decks and to get on top of them, basically. So what happened very specifically for this one is actually a little bit unusual. I can show you guys that in my notification history. About a day ago, Concord invalidated the war. We went into the 24-hour timer, but then the Domain Research and Mining Institute decided to re-war deck me, which means that I received a new mail from Concord about the war history, and here we also get that information that they spend another 100 million ISK to war deck us again. This is a weekly cost that they have to pay if they want to keep the war going. Seems pretty expensive considering what we've seen in like those first 3-4 days of the war, and I'm not really sure why they decided then to end the war at some point. I don't think it was a timer issue. I don't think we had been going for a full week, so definitely feels a little bit strange. I'm still not really sure what's going on, but if a big Leshak ball comes rolling in, then there won't be much that I can do except perhaps inform CVA that they are coming, because I did see a comment on one of the videos from someone from CVA saying, well, we don't mind forming up, going a couple jumps and trying to give them a bloody nose. So that is obviously also an option. Now, if you're a newer player and you can't get organized yourself or with other opponents, then another thing that you can do is, of course, try to deny them as many targets as possible. And for that reason, that's always been the tactic for Co-Incorporate, especially when we were smaller and we could get war-decked at any time. We have reserve bases of operations and jump clones ready there if we want to do that. So for instance, I have a jump clone here in Esesama and in Dital, I have the current clone of course, then one in Caldari space, which I'm actually planning to move into Terra eventually. How annoying would it be for an opponent to have to come to Terra in order to try and get some kills on a war. And then the ones that we loved most, which was actually our first base of operation, like secondary base of operation. We actually started out in Iona, which is Galente space. We still have really massive amounts of ships, materials, a lot of stuff still ready. We could do anything there: mining, exploration, missions, transportations, reserve ships, PvP ships, of PvP clone. You can see that I've got 2 of them ready. Here, that was really our first real base of operations in EVE Online that we fully developed. We had bosses there with everything. And then we moved a secondary base of operation to Nibali, because that one is in Solitude, a high-sec island very much away from everything. And so to show it, and maybe also to try and you know, give them something to think about, we are going to move and jump into that clone. So that does mean that I have to get out of my ship. So let's leave the Cloaky Bomber, leave ship. Now that I'm in my capsule, what I can do, just make sure that you're not in a station where you have another clone, because then you would start to lose your implants, but nothing here. So we're gonna jump to Nibale. It costs 0 ISK to install a clone in my current structure, so that is just fine. And zip, here we go. I am now once again very far away from the war theater of domain. If they want to come and get a kill, they will have to come all the way here. You can see what I've got here: Rattlesnake for missions. Happens to be here because I've never done conduits here, but we could do that as well. A couple of mining ships, including an Orca, which I built here actually. That was a very fun experience as well. And then a Sentries Boom Boom Ishtar that I use for exploration, of course. So we're gonna get started with that, I think, because I want to make my way to the system of laser. So let's do Odolink a solar system, and I will set destination. That is a system here that should have a locator agent that I can use, because we should have a high enough standings with that particular corporation. And that's the last thing that I basically want to show newer players here as well when it comes to war decks. Now that you can't just add people to your watch list and then see when they're online, you need other ways of basically finding out more information about the opponents, and one way could be locator agents. So what you want to do for that, we have been war decked by this alliance. The alliance actually, if you look for attributes, has an executor corporations, and you can also go through all of the members if you want to find potentially more people to hunt for. But let's say that we want the big kahuna, so the CEO of the executor corporation of the alliance that has war decked us. He's apparently called Coach Hanger Strangler, and we are going to drop his name right here so that we can do a search for his location through one of these locator agents. In the meantime, I'm going to undock right here. Sure, new warning, very helpful as well. Back in the days, I don't think you got a warning whenever you were at war every single time that you would undock. And of course, you get the flag as well, very important. Now here, I'm really not worried. I don't think that there's going to be too many players around here. And let's see, we have some, okay, quite a few dens and a couple of signatures. So let's get started. This is basically, let's move these drones as well, by the way. Man, it's been a long time since I've been here, so all of this has to be redone. Medium thermal, these guys are small thermal, and then we've got some extra wardens. Oh, I don't have a second sentry. I'm gonna do new group, and I will call that wardens. like that. Okay, we're good to go. I think we're good to go, and let's get started. So yeah, another thing that we'll take a look at in a moment is going to be a locator agent. I'm gonna try and locate the CEO of the Executor Corp of the enemy alliance. Could give us some information as to what's happening there. Of course, this is also something that potentially you want to do for opponents that you've seen in local systems and things like that, just to get a feel of it. If you're all alone, you don't have a network of information to work with, then that's another way for you to get some information. A gas site, man, we never see those around Vital. Here they are apparently quite a bit more plentiful. Now we're gonna go and take a quick look at this one. I should really warp to Larin, by the way, because with 21 people in local, that's still quite a lot actually. I don't think we'll get anything good here. If we happen to get a good combat site, that would be fine as well. Also something else perhaps that that could be helpful when it comes to war decks. Just lots of players really love when they get feedback that shows that you're angry or disappointed or anything like that. Never show those kinds of emotions wherever you're under a war deck. In fact, I remember one of our wars way back in the day. I did exactly this. I jump cloned into Solitude and I thought I was safe there, so we got nothing here. And in fact, man, these guys were really wanting to get those kills. They came here in a couple of battle cruisers, so they went through low sec, through high sec, into Solitude to hunt me down. They got a kill, I think it was on a Dominix that I was using to run a couple of missions. And well, what did I do? I said just good fight in local, and then I could feel their anger at that reaction, because they said what good fight, and they were trying to provoke me, trying to provoke emotions in me. I just didn't respond anymore. I just said it was a good fight, and then you know, I jump clone to somewhere completely different. Come after me again if you want to, and just never show that you're angry or disappointed or frustrated or anything like that. You gotta roll with the punches here. This is all part of the sandbox. And that's a big part of it as well. Deny them the joy of them frustrating you when it comes to a war. For me, all of this is in good fun. And man, if they would come over here to try and get a fight, I would be really impressed actually that people are willing to spend that much time to go and kill something like an Ishtar or something like that against a solo player, corporation or alliance. In my case, pretty much. My brother still plays, not that much lately. He mostly just helps me out with some logistics stuff, with the research and things like that. And then Dayguard comes back from time to time. He actually has a completely different playstyle from me as well. He enjoys the more risky side of things, so he tends to go explore in Nullsec, for instance. He does big routes there, comes back with a couple 100 million from time to time. And then he actually also builds PvP ships. He's gone to wormhole space and things like that, so completely different from what I do. And doesn't play all that often either, in small stints, I would say. So I don't expect that I can like get 5 guys together in battleships and try to take out a headquarters or anything like that. If that were the case, if it keeps going with this war, Rogue Drone Asteroid, that's a bit disappointing, could be better. If something like that were to happen, yeah, I see little other choice than to contact CVA or some of the other groups and try to organize something to counter the enemy. But Gila as well, so they're definitely exploring around here as well. And 6 in this system in Urs, that's actually a decent amount. I'm considering what's happening here, Gila and Helios. I suspect that this will not be a good signature, so we're gonna head off to the next system at this point. Go down here. Let's see what that is. But yeah, first thing I would say for new players, and I would in fact say before you set up your first structure, have this so it's another wormhole. Yeah, have this infrastructure ready. Have at least one jump clone in a different place far away with the necessary ships for you to keep enjoying EVE Online the way you're used to. So have that secondary base of operations, and we could go pick up some drones if we want to, but I'm not going to do that right now. But yeah, have that secondary base of operations ready for you If you then deploy your first structure, you do get war decked and you find it so annoying, you feel like you cannot undock or anything like that anymore. Just jump clone and still be a little bit careful, but know that you have that option then to continue playing just in a completely different part of space. It's always nice to be prepared for that. And so that's exactly what we're doing here. We've got 3 signatures. Let's see if there's anything. But yeah, with the Gila just passing us by, and I'm really surprised. Solitude is actually pretty busy. Normally I see like 1 or 2 players in most of these systems. This is actually pretty impressive, and I think I may have an answer for that. Being productive now, closer to nullsec, we've already seen that in detail with mineral prices going up, could actually be very, very valuable. So that is perhaps something that we'll explore a little bit later as well. Yeah, we've been going for 50 minutes. I'm gonna continue doing quick exploration, see if we can't happen to find something good to tackle on this one. And you can also, if you guys want to already see the fit here, it is completely different. 5 drone damage controls. The last ones, 2 ones, don't tend to be that good. But yeah, this is a different philosophy. A real glass cannon based fully around the sentries. But of course here we are talking not Sancha, but Serpentis. And all those sites are actually perfect for the sentry drone meta, for the Ishtar. And as a result, this is how I explore around here, the real glass cannon way. With a bit of luck, you can one-shot stuff. It goes really fast. It's really cool. I would love to show it. It's been a very long time, in fact, since I've flown this ship or done a Serpentis site. And if I'm not mistaken, they have really good BPCs as well at the moment. So let's get going. Let's see what we can find. Oh, emerging conduits are here as well. So we could definitely get my rattlesnake fitted for that if I want to. And we have another gas site, the Calabash Nebula yet again. Alright, moving to Octavene next. Let's see what we can explore there. And of course, this is more normal, 2 people in the system. Yeah, the chances that we'll encounter a war target here are really, really slim. They would need to look for me, which you can. I'll show that to you guys once we get into the system of laser. Or in fact, I should actually go there and then go back, because considering we're pretty far away from domain, that locator agent is going to need quite a bit of time to actually find that person. I think it's like 4 minutes for the longest search across the whole universe. And so locator agents, if you don't know these, they work in the same tiers as security mission agents, for instance. So we get 1, 2, 3, and 4, and each one basically expands its potential range to look for the character that you want to see located. What will they show? If I'm not mistaken, just the last place that they were docked at. So that's what it'll search for. Anti-level 4 mission agents or level 4 locator agents, they can find anyone, anywhere. So it's definitely a powerful intel tool. Quite a few refuges here, 6 people. That's again more than what I'd like to see, and still 2 signatures. So potentially here we could still see something. But yeah, first gotta go over there, and if I'm not mistaken, it's gonna be Ground Investment that holds that locator agent. I've been in this very position before, so I do know that I can locate enemies here as well, despite the fact that we're so far away. It's very cool, and yeah, this is just shows how big the sandbox is in EVE Online, and how many ways there are to go about handling different situations. So we get a couple more jumps to go. Ooh, this is a more interesting system. All alone, that's quite a few signatures. I almost want to scan this one down right now, but all right. And another emerging conduit. Yeah, I think you could run quite a few of those here and be left alone quite a bit more. All the way here in Solitude. And I am kind of curious as well. Let's go take a quick peek at the mineral prices here. So let's go like that. Ooh, that's surprisingly okay. 753, 850 for quite a bit. And then 12 ISK someone is trying. Alright, that's not that much out of line. Actually, Quickly wrote this down here as well. For pyrites, we are talking below 7, 8 isk. It's not that bad. Gotta go one more jump. I think we can do that from here as well. Let's take a look at the price of Mixelon. 65.69. Ooh, that's actually worse than Jita as well. And then we get Isogen, that's still going for 20-ish, and even 14 isk down here, not that great. Zydrine, 578, nothing too special. And then Megasite, 542, that's definitely a bit of a premium compared to the Jita prices. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, 494, that's a bit of a premium, 10% or something like that. But all the others are surprisingly competitive. Not what I expected. Okay. And then we are now in the system of laser, and we only have an investment bank depository, so our locator agent has to be there. All right, let's see if we can find this bastard's location, and I can really give you an idea as to where they become active. You have to pay a little bit of risk for that, but honestly it's not that much. So that should be fine. And then I'll head back to Nepali. Let's see, I've got my stuff there. So let's set destination. I want to get that system with lots of signatures at least as well. Here, a lot quieter as well. So that's pretty good for exploration potentially. And then, let's see, level 1, I think it's going to be this guy then. So you just talk to the agent. And so this one has the option locate character. So let's see if we take the other one, talk to him. He just gives you a mission, right? That's it. While Collier's Avocord gives me locate character. And then I can just normally, let's see, can I just copy that? Oh, apparently not. I wish I could just copy that or drag that, but it's graying everything else out, so I'll have to go like this. Should be that. Coat Hanger Strangler. Let's press OK. I have pretty good hunch. Might be it will cost you 250,000 disk. That means it's like the furthest away that it can be. So this is the most expensive search. I press accept. Always a pleasure doing business with you. It'll take me some time to locate him. I'll be in touch. And so in about 4 minutes we should get that. So this is another way for someone to get intelligence on the opponents. I think this is used a lot more back in the day. What we could always do is just add this contact, add it to the watch list, and whenever it would come online you would actually get a notification. That doesn't work anymore unless both players have done that. So if you're on each other's watch list then it will show up, otherwise it does not. So you can definitely not know or hide yourself from that information from other players. But with this we at least have an idea where his last time was that he docked. So let's undock, let's get back to at least a little bit more exploration, and let's see when we receive our report from our locator agent. And so now I'll head back and we'll do a couple more signatures, hope for something good. I would love to make a little bit of ISK while we're under this war deck. But yeah, here we are. I definitely feel very safe. Why? Let's say that I would want to go to Jita, set destination. Ooh, there is nullsec. And if you take the safe route, I think... oh, this is the safe route and it adds nullsec? I thought that we could also stay in... shorter. Let's try that. Oh, okay, yeah, there's like a double nullsec, so you could go in 27 jumps, but you gotta go through null and lowsec, and here through lowsec. Or if you prefer safer, show that again, that's how we normally fly. We have, yeah, we gotta go through nullsec as well. All right, not much we can do. We get a couple signatures here, but this is very annoying. If the opponent would do the exact same thing, run a locator agent on me to see, well, I haven't seen him fly around anymore where he normally flies around, even on my neutral alls, what's happening? Well, run a locator agent and then they'll find me all the way here in Solitude. They'll do a set destination, they'll see something like that, they'll go, good god, do we really have to go 20 or 35 jumps through null and low sec in order to try and get a kill on that? It should be very annoying and demotivating to try to get that done. And so this is why we have this base of operation here specifically. Because it is this high-sec island well away from everything. You also get that vibe when you look around. There's the Galente Nebula, there's the Amar Nebula. We're really like in the far reaches of space. It's going to be difficult to get to us. And that also means that normally, I mean, now I'm more interested in what the locator agent is going to say, just to show that to you guys. But I would scan down all of these wormholes, because there is one thing that has potentially a lot of value in Solitude, that is a high-sec to high-sec connection. If you could find one that is like just a couple jumps away from a trade hub, there's business to be made, basically. We did just see that the minerals are not doing that great. I really thought that we would be running dry by now in Solitude and that we would have basically much higher prices than in Jita. That really doesn't seem to be the case, except for one thing, mega site. So if you can then spot those differences, find those goods that are far more expensive here or far cheaper here, and then start to import and export them through one of these high-sec to high-sec wormholes, you can really make some amazing trade trips through that mechanic. And so having this jump clone in this very remote place, I think is pretty damn awesome. And it's also partly why I am planning to set up a jump clone in Terra, because I think that there's a lot of business to be had there as well. On top of that, there's always going to be connections close to trade hubs and things like, or almost always, including passage through to other places. And there we go, we get our message. I'm gonna try and quickly finish this signature and see what that's about. But yeah, here we go. I found Coat Hanger Strangler, and then it goes on this it gives you the email, and I found your sleaze bag. He's in the C system, Hackett constellation of the domain region, as expected a little bit. And with regards, Collier's Avocard, and we have another nebula there, so that's not so good. Let's go back to Vicody. I think that's where we had lots of signatures. Call these back, close that. But this is how a locator agent works, right? You just pay him the fee. I think it goes up the further away the character is from the locator agent itself. 250k is the most expensive search, and then it just gives you the last system he was in. I think docked in the system of C, this time in the Hackett constellation in the domain region. And so if you would want to start to hunt for these people, you could then use this information to scout that region out, see if they're active, what their patterns are, and thus try to be more active in the war. So it's an awesome intel tool for you to go offensive. And on the other hand, if like us, you have this base of operation very far away from the theater that they usually have their war deck in, if they do the same to you, if they run a locator agent and then they get a system of Vecody 34 jumps out or 30 jumps out or whatever it is, that they'll find on their information, and that's gonna be a, what the hell, he went all the way over there. Is it worth it to still pay 100 million ISK for this war every week? I think it can be rather demoralizing. Sometimes though, remember that you do have players that are very motivated to get that kill. They will come after you, so always keep an eye on local, make sure that the war targets are not there. But since we just jumped in, I really don't think that that's going to happen. We're going to finish by taking a look at what's available here. Hopefully there's still something good, and otherwise that will be my second report on what's happening and what I've been doing under the war deck. I also evacuated basically everything else that really doesn't matter. All that's left in my structures at this point are some PvP ships, a few exploration ships, just if I would feel like still risking that. But yeah, that's definitely not what I tend to do. Everything is out of my corporate hangars. All my jobs are stopped, so we should be absolutely fine. And here we go. Ooh, that's good. Serpentis Narcotics Warehouse. We're gonna quickly run that one as well, because that's potential. That's a 3 out of 10 for Serpentis, and that can be good, including, if I'm not mistaken, a BPC. It has been a long time though, so let's head over there. In the meantime, I am going to try and see what the other two are about. We've made a big mistake there. Bring that back. Let's see what this is. Let's activate. I'm not even sure if we're cap stable there. I think we are, but let's go like that. It's been a long time since I've done this specific activity. Run exploration in this Ishtar going up against Serpentis. And then this final one, let's look for that one. And let's activate the gate. How did this one work again? I think it's the 3-room one. Do I have a mobile tractor unit? Yes, I do. Okay. And that's another cosmic signature. Let's see what this is about. Yeah, there's the double gates. Ooh, it looks like it's run. Is that right? Because I'm not seeing anything. Ah, that's too bad. Let's see what this is then. A gas site. Again, lots of gas sites here all of a sudden. Alright, so we've got... Yeah, everything is run, unfortunately. Well, we could try, right? Let's get in there. They already made one mistake. Supply traffic management. You want to destroy that? They actually got started on that. Why the hell would you not finish it? Because potentially that actually holds a faction piece as well. Very surprised to see that they didn't run it. So let's get the race started. I'm gonna cut this one now. Gonna drop my... Oh, it's actually medium, so I should move them after this as well. But yeah, if you run these, always try to destroy the traffic management, supply traffic management building, because it can drop something good as well. Doesn't take that long, as you can see, and I usually, while traveling, take care of everything with like my small drones, and then by the time we cross here, we get this, we get a 5th-tier overseer. No faction drop, unfortunately, but yeah, that potential, don't waste it. Drones are back, quick boost. Let's take that gate, see if we can spot where whoever else is running the site is. And let's see if on this cam we can find out what they're running it. Ooh, in a Gila, that's gonna be tough to beat. Oh, and another Gila here as well. Interesting. Are they having a race or are they working together? Let's see if we can't swoop in as the third party and grab them. Why would you... What? Everything is still here? Did that just spawn in? Alright. Wardens come out. Let's try and snipe this guy with the mobile tractor unit. Very weird. Would they take the left side? The left side is like the bad side normally as well. So let's go like that. Those are down. I'm gonna switch to the shorter ranged ones. Let's go. So this is pure drones, of course, but look at that. Almost one-shotting that patroller. That one's down, so that's good. The closest targets, they haven't even targeted me. And we're taking these guys down. In the meantime, the loot is again being tractored, so that looks pretty good to me. Let's keep going. Okay, very strange. Next. Target the rest of these. And if you're not in a race, definitely salvage this stuff as well. That's definitely worth it. Go, go, go. Why the hell isn't that Corelli agent being destroyed? There we go. And then it gets one shot. Which is why I do like this glass cannon. Or at least another ship got like pretty much one shot. You're next. You're next. Almost so close to to the one shot. Alright, that one's next. Oh, well, let's press F on this one then actually. Blop. Final one. Return to drone bay. Any loot? No, unfortunately. Scoop the cargo holds. And let's go for the next room then. Always keep an eye on that local. Who knows if a war target pops up. Oh yeah, this is a little bit of an annoying one because this building goes straight into your flight path. So what you want to do is basically go down a little bit until you get a good line of sight so you don't bounce into that. And then the other one, I think this one is basically close enough that it's fine. So I'm gonna cut the Microwarpdrive. And we get in range as, yeah, alright. It's coming back pretty quickly. And if you're fast enough, you align just before that and you don't have to worry about, god damn it, we do bounce on it. Normally, I missed this one, and we can get that smooth warp on the gate. So, next room. Oh, they could come in on this one, I think, as well. Everything is already done. Okay, weird. They definitely took, like, the wrong... They took the left path, which I think is like not the fastest, but alright. Now let's go and take a look in the final room. Although the site did just despawn, so I don't think it's gonna be here anymore. So we'll be heading back to Nibale after this. Any of these being like cruisers, Serpentis, small. If it's the medium one, I would see if... Final sector. Let's see if they know what they were doing. Or if the station is still here. No, they sniped it out. So in this 3 out of 10, normally there'd be a massive station here. And that's actually where the loot is, which is quite different as well. Alright, not much we can do around here anymore. Let's move on to the next system, and that's gonna be it for this update video. Basically, I'm gonna spend a little bit of time here in Solitude. We'll keep an eye on the messages if they do try to attack my stations or anything like that. But for now, I hope that this can be helpful for some of the newer players as well, on how to be prepared for war decks and potentially how you can try to make it annoying for your opponents to get kills and things like that, and also how to get a little bit of intel on what happens. I get a lot of intel from you viewers, which is great of course, but not everyone can enjoy that luxury, so locator agents might just be the ticket. That's gonna be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.